Good morning, everyone. We do have a few more seats if anybody wants to get in the shade and take some time, but I first want to welcome everyone here. My name is Jenny Magley, and I am the marketing manager at the Miller Group. I want to thank you all so much for coming to celebrate with us the groundbreaking of New Realm Suffolk. Today, you're going to hear from a group of people who were vital in bringing New Realm Brewing and Distilling to Suffolk, Virginia, and further expanding into Hampton Roads, Virginia, which we're all very excited about today. From the Miller Group, you're going to hear from Real Estate Development Manager Lori Miller, our President and Chief Operating Officer Tim Harkins, and of course Jerry Miller, our owner and CEO. We're also thrilled to have with us Suffolk Mayor Mike Duman and founder and CEO of New Realm Brewing, Carrie Falcone. After today's presentations, I'll jump back up and walk us through some short photo ops to conclude our ceremony. But for now, please help me welcome Real Estate Development Manager Lori Miller.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you all for making time to come out today. We have been working on New Realm expansion into Suffolk for about 2 years, believe it or not. And I'll just take a quick moment to highlight some of our partners who have made this day possible. Let's start with Kimley Horn, David Dahlman. Thank you so much for multiple revisions of parking lot entrances, dumpster locations. I really appreciate your patience, and Whitney Dennison, his teammate, thank you so much. Moving on to Guernsey Tingle, our architect. Thank you to your team, Tom Tingle with Brad Sipes, Amanda Running, Emery Smith, and Michael Creasy. I think when you all walk into New Realm in the spring of next year, you're going to really understand how Tom Tingle and his team really married into New Realm's vision of quality and excellence. So thank you for all of your partnership. Of course, we wouldn't be here without multiple assistants with the Deputy City Manager, Kevin Hughes, so thank you. There was a time when I thought you were going to block Whit Hill and Laurie Miller calling you for assistance and help, so thank you so much, Kevin. Believe it or not, the Residential Association and the Commercial Association was pivotal with this. We went from a conditional use for New Realm to have live music. And as you can imagine, with the proximity of the residents, they were not overly excited. So thank you to Andy Sweet. Yes, thank you. And to Keith Horton with Town Bank, who is not able to attend today. So thank you very much for all of the calls and hysterical questions that you knew that we were not going to turn the neighborhood upside down. So thank you. And last but not least, to Michael Arnold with the Miller Group. Thank you for your meticulous attention to detail and gluing all of the components, as mentioned above, into something that we can get out of the ground today at the groundbreaking. So thank you. We just are really excited, appreciate your partnership. Thank you all, and I'm going to turn it over to Tim Harkins.
Thanks, Lori. Good morning. Whoever said if you're going to be in real estate, you have to be a very patient person wasn't kidding. It's been 421 days since the mayor announced the expansion of New Realm into Suffolk. But who's counting? Seriously, I've been building things for over 40 years, and this past year has probably been one of the more difficult that I've experienced. We have the pandemic hangover, we've got rising costs, supply chain issues, and rising interest rates. It's made it very difficult in this environment to get this off the ground. I really want to thank New Realm for hanging in there with us, because there's a lot of times I'm sure we looked at each other and said, are we ever going to pull this off? So, but what I'd like to thank Lori and her team for pulling this all together, and what I'd like to thank a few people, because I don't get a chance to do it very often. First, Carol Hahn from Faggard Frieden. Carol, where you are, thank you. Jeremy Starkey from Town Bank, Levi Thompson from DeVaris, and some of my team members that helped pull this together. Wood Hill Business Development, Catherine Law in our finance, Kim Irwin in asset management, Kim, Chris Safrick from Trident Civil, you can see all his toys behind us. And last, Dave Hackworth of Ballacor, who is our general contractor. Our journey with New Realm began in Virginia in 2018, and since then our friendship and partnership have continued to grow. I'm continually impressed with the quality of experience that New Realm brings to its customers. They constantly strive to improve things and never take the customer for granted. My reality check is every time any of our 4 adult children come home from other markets, they always want to visit New Realm. And when they leave, they always say, when are they going to build one in my town? Well, that may never happen, but we're excited to bring that relationship to Blue Point so that Suffolk and surrounding communities can experience the ultimate meeting place. Lastly, I'd like to thank Bryce, Ed, and Jenny for pulling this together. And next, I'd like to introduce our leader, owner, and CEO.
Thank you. Well, good morning, and thanks for coming out. As Tim said, I'm Jerry Miller. I'm the CEO of the Miller Group, and as you can see, I got a great team, so I don't get real involved in all of these details. But I thought I'd just spend a moment and tell you a little bit about myself and how it relates to why we're here. But the Navy, I graduated from the Naval Academy in '77, and in 1979, the Navy sent me here to Norfolk on a ship. And I was in the shipyard in Norfolk, but back then I lived in Virginia Beach, and my ship was at the Camp Estella Bridge, so I kind of went between Virginia Beach and there. And then I stayed around here, got out of the Navy, taught school at ODU for a couple years and came around. And then I started a business in 1985, and back then, so I started hiring people, and if somebody lived in Suffolk, man, they were way out there. And you figured, well, I guess they were peanut farmers, because what you heard about Suffolk was that's where it was really big, and that's where they had peanuts. And oh, by the way, I grew up on a junkyard, and if you want to go to a junkyard, they were on Suffolk. So that was it was way out there, and that was kind of the way it was. And then, so I started my business in '85, and then I started hiring a couple people from Newport News, and I was about 30 years old at the time, and these guys were a lot smarter than me, and they said, and my shop was in Portsmouth. And they said, well, this is really good because eventually there's going to be this Monitor Merrimack Tunnel, and it's going to go from Newport News to Portsmouth or to across the river, and it will take me no time to get to work here. And I'm like, when's that going to be? And he said, well, it's probably going to take about 5 more years. I'm like, man, that's good forever. That's never going to happen. So sure enough, it did. And the next thing you know, my business was located within 20 minutes of Newport News Shipyard, which was helpful. And then as time went on, you see that the area where were people moving, and they were moving to Suffolk. And Suffolk became a lot different. It wasn't no longer thought of as farmland, and the roads improved, and you had the Martin Luther King Expressway came in a few years ago. That was great because you could go from, you can go everywhere around here. And so I'll also mention that, back probably it was around in the 90s, I started getting to know people, around here. I was on the board of Town Bank when it first started. Commerce Bank and Bob Aston and the group started Town Bank. And that was like, we were in Portsmouth, but in Suffolk, it was kind of way out there. And look what's happened. If you look at, this is Town Bank headquarters over here, of course. And there was a guy named Bob Williams. I don't know, Bob's, but he used to tell me about it. He was going to take over all this property, and he was going to develop it. I'm like, whoa. And then next thing you know, Riverfront Golf Course got in there, and there's this beautiful neighborhoods over here. And then if you look around, I mean, there's things going everywhere. And we have, my company, we have townhomes going up at the end of this street, way at the end, and then there's hundreds of apartments down there, and there's homes everywhere. And this is, Suffolk went from, in my mind, and as when I first got here, 40 years ago, to being farm country, to this is kind of where things are happening. So we got involved with Kerry and his team back in, as Tim said, back in 2018. And, these guys are from Chicago and Atlanta, and, these are high-end guys, and they came here to Virginia Beach, and they're like, Virginia Beach, what is that? So I said, hey, I got this spot out here, you're going to love it. And of course they did, and they took over, and if you've ever been out to New Realm in Virginia Beach, it's a happening place. And then, Mike and others from Suffolk, and Jeremy Starkey and folks like that live, out here in Suffolk, they say, hey, could you guys do something like that out here? And I said, we said, yeah, that's a really good idea. And then as Tim said, we took this property because we said, look, this is like the central part. This is Suffolk right here, and this is so that's a great piece of property. So we figured out how to buy this property. Of course, then the pandemic happened and all that. But here we are, and you're going to start to see things happening here. There's a hotel going back in the corner. It'll be a really nice spot. This is going to be a super exciting, hangout restaurant, brewery. It's a great place. Kerry is going to talk to you a little bit about his team at some point and tell us about it. We're going to get to sample some of New Realm's best, but we really love working with those guys. And this is, as Tim said, we have a great working relationship, and we're really partners. And and I'm very happy about making a big investment here in Suffolk. Thrilled about it. Want to thank all the Al Moore, the city manager, and Mike Doohan, our mayor, who's going to speak next, and just the whole group that has put Suffolk together, because it's come a long way, and I'm really proud to be part of it. And I want to thank you all for coming, and thank New Realm. And Mr. Mayor, microphone's yours.
Thank you. Good morning. It is exciting to be here. I want to recognize a few folks before I get started. Our city manager, Mr. Al Moore, Councilman John Rector, Councilman Roger Fawcett, and Kevin Hughes, our deputy city manager, who was also economic development before that. So he has witnessed this. He just got a pretty good history. I appreciate that history. It went all the way back to '77. Now, if you want to hear some more, I graduated from Charleston High School in 1968, so I can really tell you what wasn't here. And about Bob Williams and Bob Aston, because I first met Bob Aston when he was working the dealer division at Citizens Trust Bank back in '74. So this is amazing. We went from leaving Churchland, going up this 17 corridor, short of the Bennett Creek Market and the Purple Lady over here on this side. I mean, how this whole area has evolved and the economic engine it is. And I've been speaking to the city manager about coming up with a new slogan for the city of Suffolk. And to quote you, you said, "This is where things are happening." That's not a bad slogan. This is where things are happening. Suffolk is where things are happening. There was an article in the Virginia Pilot, if you saw it, if you read the paper this morning, on the front page, talking about growth, population growth in particular, but also economic growth in Hampton Roads, and there's nothing close to Suffolk. The only Hampton Road city with a positive growth is Chesapeake at about 1%, and we were at 5.1. So, as I mentioned when the paper called me, we are in a very, very enviable position. So what brings people to our Suffolk? You were attracted here because of the demographics and the growth, but by you being here, that's going to attract more people. So one feeds off the other. To have economic development, you need rooftops, you need investments, you need entrepreneurs that are willing to take a chance. And lots of times, I don't think individuals that have not been in business really understand that every entrepreneur is a gamble. There are no guarantees. When you put your money up, it's not like going to work, punching a clock. Not that I have anything against people going to work, punch a clock, but you get paid, you go home, that's the end of it. There's a lot that's involved. I appreciate your patience. I'm not going to talk about 421 days. Let's just talk about how we got here. But there's one thing that I've learned in government versus private businesses: nothing happens quickly. There is a process. And you dot I's, you cross T's, because while this group's interested in one thing, another group is interested, and rightfully so, that their quality of life is being protected and things aren't going to be turned upside down. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your investment. $11 million, from what I understand, investment. I knew this was a groundbreaking, and I get to Harborview somewhat. I live closer to the other side, and we say groundbreaking, I'm thinking a little pile of dirt and some shovels. And then I came and it looked at me like you've broken a lot of dirt already. Maybe I'm missing something here. And the city manager mentioned maybe we get our own excavator and move some of this stuff around for you in lieu of the shovels. But I think it's going to be a great attraction, 60 new jobs. And when we can mention Suffolk in the same breath as Atlanta and Charleston and Greenville, I mean, what can I say? We've come a long way. So I'm really looking forward to spring of 2024. I'm going to take the trip. I'm going to bring my 3 dogs. My wife doesn't drink beer. I drink a little bit, but lately I could probably use some more alcohol consumption. So I'll see if I can check everything out. And since she won't be drinking, the dogs will help me find my way back to the car. I'm going to come out here. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Carrie Falcone with New Realm.
So I was told that batting lineup here was established by height, so I figured I'd be either speaking first or last, but apparently it was last. Let me start out with some introductions. So first of all, my good friends and partners, Bob Powers and Mitch Steele. Been a part of this from day one. Mitch is known as one of the best brewers in the world. Mitch has helped us to brew award-winning beer. We won 2 gold medals at the Great American Beer Festival this past year. all Mitch's recipes. So the guy behind the beer, really appreciate Mitch and everything that he's done, both personally and professionally for our company. Bob Powers set everything up for sales and marketing for our company. Bob and I have been friends for years and have worked together for a long time, so really appreciate these two guys. They've helped New Realm become what it is today. Also, we have some other people here. Jeremy Barnes heads up finance for us. We've got Tommy Keipe in the back here. He's our general manager in Virginia Beach. So if you've ever been to Virginia Beach, you've probably met Tommy. We have Eric right here in the front. Eric's really helped shape our marketing team, and all the graphics on all of our cans come from Eric. Also, Catherine Hines. Catherine is our partner and owns Hoffman Beverage. So if you go out and buy any of our beers, whether it's on or off premise, it came through Catherine. Catherine's been an amazing partner. She is truly running a world-class distribution network, and super proud to be in her family as well. So let me, now that we've done some introductions, I just wanted to let you know up front how excited we are to be coming to Suffolk. We've been working with the Miller Group for some time now. To do another project with them is super exciting to us. They've been great partners, but they've also been great friends. So Jerry and Tim have helped us not just professionally and in our facility, but they've been wonderful friends, and they've helped people to relocate here. We have headquartered our finance team, our marketing team, our sales team, a lot of different back of house functions we've centered here in Virginia Beach, and the Miller Group has been a big part of helping us to make that happen, so truly appreciate y'all. So New Realm, for those of you that don't know us, I'll give you a very, very brief background. I know it's warm out, so I got about 4 calls from our team members today letting me know that I'm not supposed to talk too long because it's hot. So, but we started about 7 years ago. We opened our first location in Atlanta. Atlanta is a 40,000 square foot facility. It's got a 650 seat restaurant. We brew beer, we distill spirits, and we get locally sourced food, which is prepared in our scratch kitchen. So we're really proud of that location. It was our first location. Our second location was here in Virginia Beach. This is our production facility. So all of the beers that go into distribution come out of our Virginia Beach location. After that, we opened in Charleston. We will open in about 2 weeks on the campus of Auburn University. It's a project we're super excited about. It's a brewery and a tap room, but also it allows us to participate with Auburn University. They've got a master's in brewing program. It's going to be one of the top programs in the country, and it's our opportunity to be able to participate in the development of the next generation of brewers. So we've got people like Mitch who will be going in and having student interaction. Student won't just learn from a book, but they'll come into our brewery and they'll learn on our brewery as well. So really cool tap room that we're opening. It's much more than just opening another location. We're super excited about that. We've got a couple other projects that we're working on opening as well, but none more exciting than Suffolk. So just really happy to be here. Appreciate all of your support. Look for us in, what do you think, Tim, April? Spring. Let's say spring.
Let's get started. We need to get started.
Let's say spring. But in the meantime, come visit us in Atlanta. Tommy and his team would love to see you if you're wondering what we're all about. Just like all of our other locations, our goal is to be a community gathering place. We care a lot about our employees. For Mitch, Bob, and I, this has never been a job. This has always been the culmination of our life's work, and creating something special and something different and being highly engaged in the community is truly what we're all about. So we hope to see you and your families here. We'll have a rooftop, we'll have a beer garden, we'll have a dog park, we'll have indoor and outdoor spaces, a lot of event spaces. So we hope to share a lot of those wonderful moments with you all in the future and look forward to opening up. So thank you very much.